It's a chaotic day in Santiago, Chile. A photographer is using black and white film to capture large anti-government protests and the authorities' response. He's near the center of the city when he faces a group of soldiers.
Me acerco a ver lo que estaba sucediendo, la gente se empieza a acercar a los militares, empieza a lanzar piedras, los militares empiezan a disparar al aire, me doy cuenta que uno de ellos tiene una escopeta, me empiezo a fotografiar a ese sujeto.
Moments later, he's shot in the leg by pellets. There's video of how the incident unfolded. Chilean government rules say there must be a physical threat in order to use this type of ammunition. But here's Palavecino Escobar with his camera. Clearly, he's not a threat. Here's when he's shot. Then hobbles away. The 29-year-old says he wasn't doing anything wrong.
Nunca me esperé que el militar me disparara por tomar una fotografía, posiblemente le molestó que le estuviera tomando una fotografía tan cerca, pero eso no corresponde el actuar de ellos.
This is just one scene from the anti-government protests that have gripped Chile. At least 20 people have died and hundreds injured. Chile's security forces have been accused of misconduct and human rights violations. We examined the police and military responses by reviewing videos and photos and talking to witnesses. Some protesters have rioted, but many more have been peaceful. Early on, the president declared a state of emergency.
Estamos en guerra contra un enemigo poderoso, implacable, que no respeta a nada ni a nadie.
In our analysis, we saw instances of people being beaten, tear-gassed, and brutally arrested. And one pattern. Security forces shooting pellet rounds or rubber bullets against non-violent crowds, like in the case of the photographer we mentioned earlier. There's at least 400 of these pellet-related incidents, according to Chile's Human Rights Institute. This kind of ammunition isn't intended to kill, but when fired at extremely close range, it can still cause serious or even fatal injuries. Here's what some of them look like. On October 22nd, journalists from Argentina's Todo Noticias were covering the protests in Santiago. We see police being pelted by rocks and firing back at protesters. And while on air, one of the reporters is shot by a member of Chile's national police. Here you can see an officer taking aim.
¿Están bien?
Perdón, me acaban de dar un balazo de goma. Me acaban de dar un balazo de goma. Pará.
That same day in Concepcion, this man is out after a curfew. As the soldiers find him, the camera is rotated. We've adjusted the footage to keep it level. It appears he's told to stand still, but the man continues walking towards a soldier. A second camera then shows the soldiers shooting the man in the leg at close range. We spoke to police conduct and human rights experts who said the man's refusal to surrender when confronted by the soldiers is grounds for arrest. But they did not see a justification for the soldier to shoot the man. As he is led away, a camera captures the bloody wound in his leg. But it's not just journalists and protesters getting injured. Back in Santiago 1 week later, a human rights observer was also wounded. He was from the same group that has been documenting alleged misconduct by security forces, and he was hit by 6 pellets. The injuries were not severe, but the fact that he was shot while wearing a bright yellow observer jacket shows that anyone at Chile's protests could be at risk. The United Nations and other human rights groups have launched an investigation into the conduct of security forces. Chile's president welcomed them, saying he has nothing to hide. Hi, this is Nilu, and I'm one of the producers who worked on this investigation. We spent weeks watching hundreds of videos on social media and connecting with sources in Chile. The gravity of the situation hit me when we found a video showing a photographer who was shot at close range by the military. He continued taking photos during the incident, even after he was injured. We do this type of work to dig into stories that are undercovered. To continue supporting work like this, subscribe to the New York Times.